Yes, Friday. How is everyone doing? Ooh. Oh wait, I just did something to my music. What did I do? Okay, there we go. Hello, welcome in Dungeon Mastery Evan. Evan P. I'm trying to place the correct Evan. Thank you for coming in. Even if you can't stay the whole time, I'm very grateful that you're saying and dropping in and saying hi. Hi, Gilliam, welcome back in. Hi, Nerdy Curious, and hi, Michael, welcome back in for both of you. I feel like I know just enough Evans to be like not. Okay, now I'm like, which Evan? Anyways, happy Friday. Happy Friday and welcome to Chill Vibes. So this is a slight bit embarrassing on my part because on Wednesday I was like, so from now on, Fridays, most Fridays will be private subs only streams because I'm going to be working on my client projects. And oh my gosh, hello! Hi, Evan, welcome in. Sorry. Now your handle also makes sense. So happy that you dropped in. Thank you for dropping in at such a late hour also. Actually, I have a lot of European representation in this chat. So Gilliam and Michael are also in the Europe time zone. Sorry. Just takes me a bit. I'm so bad at names. Yeah, it is. It's exciting that we can have more people, but I'm just embarrassed because I was like, it's gonna be subs only. And then I apparently did not. I failed to read the fine print, which is. Ooh, hold on. Let me make sure that the audio is okay. Oh, sorry about that. I failed to read the fine print, and apparently the fine print is not only do you have to be affiliate to have subs, but you also need to have streamed 90 days, which I think when I first read it, I was like, cool, I've like streamed 90 days, as in like I started in July and I streamed like, across more than 3 months. And today I like went to try and, change the audience to subs only. And then it was like, nope, you don't have permissions. You don't meet the minimum requirements. And I'm like, what do you mean I don't meet the minimum requirements? Turns out when they said 90 days, they meant 90 broadcast days. And I'm like, oh my God, that is so much more than, like, that literally means at my cadence, it would take me 10 or 11 months to reach that point. Sorry, I need to drink this because our heater is broken right now and it is so cold and I am bundled and like I am currently in like 2 layers of cardigans because apparently I just so happened to decide that this was the week that I was going to go and bring all of my heaviest sweaters, like warmest sweaters in for dry cleaning. So I'm just so cold and I'm holding this the whole time. I'm gonna drink some. But yeah, so So I was like, I cannot, hold on. It's been, and I like tried to do some quick math of how many days I've streamed, like actual broadcast days. But I like, so I started in July. How many months has it been since July? I feel like I'm kind of almost there to 90 days. Like I'm probably at like 60 or 70, probably, because I started in July and that's probably about 6 months by now. And I like stream about twice a week, but then there are some times when I streamed like 3 times a week, and then there are some times when I only streamed once or not at all, probably at like 60 days. But I was like, there's no way that I'm going to be able to, like, there's no way I'm going to be able to hit like 90 days anytime soon. I just realized my lips are going to be green now. That's okay. And so, and also I've been wanting to share this client project. They, I think initially gave me the okay for, I think they actually, by the time they gave me an okay, they gave me an okay for just streaming in general. And so I wanted to keep it private because it's my browsing data. um, and it's one of my clients' browsing data. So I wanted to keep it private subs only stream because just in case, I don't know, like if there's anything embarrassing in the browsing data. But then today when I found out that there wasn't, that I can't do subs only for probably like another 3 months or something, or four, no, probably another 4 or 5 months, probably another half a year, which is kind of disappointing. I was really looking forward to doing like some special ones that are subs only, especially during office hours. I was really excited for that. So I okay. I'm gonna complain for a little bit because I'm not 100% sure the actual use case for like like what is the reasoning for having that requirement of like you have to stream for 90 days, other than just being like you have to prove your loyalty to us as to Twitch before you are allowed this feature. I don't know, maybe there's some good reason, but I'm just like I'm just like why. But yeah, I'm kind of excited that I'm gonna do this in public, because it's a fun data set, it's a fun project, but also um, I was kind of also excited to keep it like I'm excited either way, as in like I think if it was subs only I was gonna like I was actually really excited to for like a maybe chiller vibe, um, and then um, and then just because like I'm trying to figure out like what are some additional benefits for subscribing, and this was like I was like, oh, this is going to be a really good like additional benefit for subscribing, if you get some like client work streams or like some office hour streams. But nope, it won't be another for another 5 or 6 months. Yeah. But yeah. So that is today. Ooh. Oh yeah, but I think wait, hold on. Let me catch up on the chat. I don't know why my secondary monitor decided to like go down in brightness. Oh yeah, Gilliam. I totally agree. That was such a great episode of Front and Happy Hour that Evan was on. I think it's the latest episode, and we talked about side projects. And Evan has this really awesome side project in Angular, or at least the episode was about Angular and side projects, building out a side project in Angular, and it is. Oh gosh, I hope I do this justice. And Evan, please like share a link to your project if you can. But it is essentially a web app that helps you manage your story as the dungeon master for D&D, and it like kind of helps you. I remember it was that it kind of helps you manage like if you I remember you draw connections between like particular points in the story and like characters that show up, and so it just helps you as the dungeon master to kind of like be able to look up something that happened like 6 months ago that you might not remember, but like do that really quickly. Conceptually it sounded so cool. I don't play D&D, so I like haven't checked it out, but it just sounded so cool. Yeah, thank you for sharing. Okay, I'm like skimming around the chat right now. I'm like toggling back and forth. Hello, welcome in. There's so many people coming in. Hello to Danny Walls. I think I need new like glasses prescriptions. I haven't updated my prescriptions for like 3 years. Hi from BCN. Where is BCN? And hello. Oh, that's Nightbot. Okay. And hi, Will. Welcome in. Hi, Alice. Ooh, thank you for. Yeah. So yesterday, instead of working on my portfolio website, which I've been really bad at that one. I've been trying to like, okay, I think so. I've like the last 2 weeks I've set aside a good number of afternoons to work on my portfolio website, and then every one of those afternoons I just procrastinate. I'm like, I just I like end up just like crawling into bed. Although yesterday afternoon, it really was because our heater broke and it was so cold, and I'm like, I am not productive right now because I just want to be under this blanket. Um, or like I'll just be like going through on like TikTok because I've decided to get TikTok. And I've curated it so that it's all like arts and crafts. So it's like, it's really nice. I really like it. But yesterday, for procrastination, I decided to do this because I wanted to have an earring for Chinese New Year. And this was an idea. So these Chinese knots I learned together with Alice and Amy. And we like, I remember Alice had mentioned, I think Alice had mentioned that she was gonna do a earring for Chinese New Year, and I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. So I also was like, I want to do something for Chinese New Year too. So this is apparently called the round brocade knot, and something about it representing eternity or unity or something like that because it's round. Sorry, I'm really bad at this. But yeah, so I made this yesterday. Very happy about it. Oh, BCN is Barcelona. Oh man, it was like, ooh, I miss Barcelona. I miss Barcelona's food. Yeah, we definitely should have a portfolio solidarity group. And I love Nerdy Curious as Procrastinators Unite tomorrow. Alice, it sounds like so much. Oh, well, no, that is actually a good way to do it. It sounds kind of like I'm just too scared for that kind of commitment. Like we have to publicly launch our portfolio by a certain date. Hello, welcome back, Anna Lodge. At least I haven't made 100 portfolios in the last year. Is that what you've done? Ooh, Alice, I like the supporting each other with feedback or help. Ooh, thank you so much, Nerdy Curious. I actually, and then this morning I was like, oh, I have even more earring ideas. And one of them I'm like really excited about is I want to do, so this round brocade knot, you can adjust it to be a butterfly. And so I was like, oh, it'd be so cute if I made like butterfly earrings, and then it's gonna be a butterfly, and then below it is gonna be like crystal, like using resin, like with the crystal mold, and then putting I have like some molds that make it look like crystals, and then putting in some lavender flowers inside that like crystal resin mold, and then so it's like a butterfly sitting on top of a lavender flower. I was like, oh, then that'd be really fun too. Ooh. I start, then I hit a wish to procrastinate. Yeah, I agree. I don't know what makes I don't know what it is about portfolios that just, I was thinking about this. I was like, I've given myself so many opportunities to work on this thing, but like, I obviously don't want to. And I think I've identified that like, because I haven't worked on my portfolio, like I haven't updated it in like 4 years, I feel like when I update it, I just like put this unnecessary pressure on myself to be like, when I update it, it has to be amazing. It has to be like the best thing I've ever made. Like it has to be like the most technically complex I can do. Like it must use like all of the newest things I've learned. And I'm like, calm down, chill. Like nobody cares. Like just update your damn portfolio site is kind of the internal monologue I have with myself. But I think that really is what like is making it so hard for me to even get started. I've noticed that this past week, what I've been doing is I've been procrastinating by quote unquote researching on the stack that I'm going to use. So like I was watching Jason Langsdorff's front end happy hour. No, sorry. Course on front end masters about the Jamstack, and then I was watching Sarah's course about Nuxt and Vue, and then I started watching Zach Zach on Learn with Jason talking about Elemony. All of them, the parts I skimmed through were great. So if you're interested in any of those, like highly recommend them. But like that is another procrastination of like, okay, what kind of static site generator should I be using? Like, and I still have not written a single line of code. So that's where I am. Ooh. Cautious hopeful. I love it. Only times when I've made progress on my portfolio are when I've had job application deadlines. I've noticed that about myself too, where I'm the most productive when I have too many deadlines. And then because there's so many deadlines, I have to be really, really like strategic and careful with my planning, so that I like use all of the time that I can, and then I'm like super productive. But if I don't have enough stuff to do, I'm like 40% productivity, because I'm like la la la, I have so much time to do this, and then it just ends up being procrastination, and like I don't do it for like the whole like half a day, and then like on the weekend I'm like and that's how I end up working on weekends. Not because I actually have when I have a lot of things to do, that is because I have a lot of things to do. But the weeks when I don't actually have that many things I have to do, the reason why I end up working on weekends is because I just procrastinate during the week when I actually have time allotted to work on things, because I'm like la la la, so much time. Ooh. Wait, what is this? Hello, welcome in. Hello, near this. Was late to get here. Just got the ML color prediction working. Ooh, so does that mean you've trained it? Hello, near this. Just need to display the results as the color codes. You just put in such a long set of numbers. So, Nilaj, I'm trying to restart, like I'm trying to redesign completely from scratch. It's like a design that I've had in my mind for like years, or rather some version of it for years. And I'm like, oh, I want to, like the base idea I have is like, I really want to get this watercolor effect going. I really want this like watercolor effect with like flowers. And like that's the one I really want to do, and I think that's why I keep procrastinating, because I'm like, I don't think I'm like technically there yet with WebGL. So then I'm like, oh, I don't think I can do this, and I keep procrastinating. Oh, I really appreciate your advice, Evan. Evan says, haven't updated my portfolio in ages. It's like any other side project. You need to be patient with yourself. Don't take on too many new parts of the stack. Yeah, I don't know why, but with side projects, I'm okay. I'm like, I feel pretty decent about, yeah, like with side projects, I feel like I feel like I'm pretty good at trying not to take on too many new parts or too many new things, but I don't know what it is about portfolios. Maybe it's because it's supposed to like represent us as a person, or us as like, I don't know, our careers, or like, I feel like maybe it's because it just feels like it's supposed to be this representation of us as skilled laborers. Our experiences, all our skills, I don't know, that I'm like, it must be super impressive. That's probably actually just means I have unresolved insecurities about my work. That's probably what that means. Yeah. Nerdy curious. Yeah, single deadline is just not good. It's weird. I'm so like I don't know how I function because I can't do just one single deadline, but then at the same time I'm like very single threaded, so I'm really not good at context switching. So like it's like a weird, I feel like I'm just not I'm just not 100% any time, because then like when I'm like 100, like when I'm super productive because I have so many things that I need to work on, like I'm not like 100% on those either, because then I'm really bad at context switching. I have no idea how yeah, I have no idea how things get done. Ooh, I'm scrolling back up now to catch up on some of the chat that I missed earlier. Ooh, tiny room with computers actually sounds really good for winter when it's cold. I've like scrolled almost all the way back now. This is Gilliam's comment. Yeah, they probably gamify the whole like you are blah percent of the way to subs only streams, but I haven't paid attention to that. So oh yeah, nerdy curious. So about the 90 broadcast days, that's subs only stream. But I think you can, yeah, I agree with you. I think you can do subs only chat already. I quite like the interaction that like, you know, that we have, like where everybody chats. So that's why I don't do subs only chat. Yeah. So I think that's what's happening. So subs only chat, probably they let you do that with that. I don't think that one has a 90 broadcast days requirement. I think it's the subs only stream is the 90 broadcast days. Oh yeah. I like how I have like no ability to read ahead. So like then I answer something and then like someone, or like usually Gilliam has already answered and I'm like, oh yes. Thank you. Ooh yeah. Daniel's a bit late, but nice to try learning something today. Yes. Usually I end up having about the first 30 minutes as like chat, and then the last hour to an hour and a half we like code together. Ooh, Will, so happy you're in. Says first time in ages I'm free enough to check in on the stream. Am I confusing anyone by jumping back and forth in the chat? Ooh, hello to Mr. Ducky. I'm sorry for missing your hello earlier. I don't know how I missed your handle, because it was literally sandwiched in between Alice's. Oh, okay. If I lean too close to chat over there, that's what I was supposed to do. That I forgot, which is move this mic over there. Totally forgot that. So if I lean too much this way to read the chat, you can hear us less and less. Got it. Ooh, I think I'm caught up. What? Milaj says, right now I'm trying to figure out how to put MS Clippy into my portfolio. That's kind of cute. Subs only chat is from the old days. What was it for? Oh, for a bot raid. I see. Huh. I didn't know that. Okay. Oh. Nowadays, a 12-hour follower mode is often better for bot raids and not sub only. I see. Huh. Oh. Helen Yu this says, directing mic other way might help cut down the delightful hubby noises. Are you cleaning our tea cabinet?
Thought it'd be more accessible if I put it over, if I like switch these two.
So I guess husband has decided that he's going to rearrange the cabinets right now.
Your mic has gotten better.
Yeah, I mean, like, I think it's fine to make these noises, like, you know, we cohabitate. I just think it's really funny that you decided right now to do it.
I decide whenever.
Huh?
I decide whenever.
Gilliam says good timing. You can keep going. I didn't mean to like shame you.
I came out here to get tea, and then I got an idea, and then I got distracted, so I started rearranging things to take a look, and now I'm just gonna have my tea.
I see.
My business. Yes.
Oh, I think I think this mic probably also catches everything you say, which would make sense. Oh, Hello Near This also says chat noise troll is not really an issue. Oh wait, no, that's to something else. He also says lol sorry at hubby. Hubby's special guest. Okay, let's get into our work for the day. I'm actually really excited to show you. So here is the observable notebook I already started for this project. And so I've been staring at this. I, of course, spelled exploration incorrectly. Exploration. So essentially with this project, so I don't think they've launched publicly yet. I think that's why it's so hard for us to find anything online. But this project is, I talked about it briefly on Wednesday, and essentially it is Mozilla's, one of, I think, Mozilla's initiatives where you can, as a Mozilla user, and I actually don't know if, it seems like the plugin that they wrote is available on Chrome also, because I've been recording my browsing data via Chrome. So I don't know if this is, yeah, so I guess it's not Firefox only. I think it's an initiative they have where if you want, you can volunteer your browsing data. And everything will, of course, be like anonymized and everything. And you can volunteer that for studies that they might have. And these studies might be, a lot of them are academic studies conducted by professors. The ones I've kind of heard about as examples are ones, investigating big tech, or like their involvement in polarizing the internet. So those are some of the ones I've heard. And so right now volunteers they just volunteer out of goodwill, and one of the things that they wanted to do for this platform is to kind of give back to their volunteers, so that maybe there can be a way where, or not there can be a way, so what they want to do is kind of maybe generate something like a weekly report for anybody, like for any individuals that decide to volunteer their browsing data. And so we're currently, and also I think two parts in for the individual, like kind of a weekly report sort of thing is what we're starting to align on, and then also a kind of like a storytelling, like a public report for like maybe it's that once we have enough individual data, then we can see if there's any interesting stories out of like a whole group of people, and then like publish our own story. So that will also be really interesting. So right now what I'm doing is I'm just looking at, well, for the first 2 weeks I was only looking at my own data, which for better or for worse was quite boring. And so I'm going to concentrate mostly on my own data, because the other data set I have, which is one of the people I'm working with, I'm not sure how comfortable he would feel about me showing his data, so I'm going to mostly use my own. But yeah, so but I think the plugins and stuff thus far I think is still in development and testing, and that's probably why you don't see it out in the wild yet. I think they just announced the project itself at a conference. It sounded like it was called the Markup Conference, I think, or I don't know if it was a conference, but they just announced the project. So that's why they were like, you can, you can start streaming if you want. So yeah, so for the first week of data, we didn't have as much metadata. So just some very basic things about what are some of my most commonly visited websites, how long did I spend on each of them, most common reasons being like the reason why that tab was activated, the reason why that entry was created. And actually, let me show you what the entries look like. So something like, oh wait, no. So this is, oh, that's not it I want. There we go. So the entries look something like this, where each one of them has like a start and end, the reason, and some sort of title and URL, and the elapsed time spent on that tab. And so the very first time, oh yeah, and then I have some of these. So apparently my most common ones were observable, because I prototype in here a lot. And for no surprise, Twitter and Gmail. And yeah, so I was apparently pretty boring for this first week. I do want to say that I'm not going to share this particular document. So for now, I'm gonna disable the link sharing, just because it does have our own private browsing data. So hopefully hopefully it's not too confusing following along, but usually I share my notebooks, but today I'm just not going to, because I don't want my private browsing data or my client's private browsing data out there. Yeah, so Vega, apparently, Messenger, Instagram. So yeah, so I think what this really shows is that like I use my laptop primarily for work. And so, Axios. I wonder what I went to Reddit for. Yeah, so this was like 1 week's worth. And then some simple charts I did. So this was the first week of January. Yeah. And then the most time spent was interesting, although there were some bugs. So because it's still very much in the development, the plugin code is still very much in the developmental phases. I'm also kind of helping with I guess, checking up on the data quality. And so for the first week, the elapsed time wasn't quite accurate because it didn't yet take into account when like we just shut down our laptop, or we basically when a page gets inactive. But apparently worked the most in Google Docs and Gmail and Observable. And another thing is, I guess that's not relevant. The other software that I use, because this is just my browsing history. So let's see. Well, this was fun. I guess it's good to have a pretty clear delineation about when I eat lunch and when I eat dinner. What's this MPDC? Oh, this one was the unrest data set from the DC police. Yeah. That was the first thing. And week two, the available metadata really increased. And yeah, let's see. So for this one, I think what I was looking into is, okay. So I would love your feedback on, given these kind of metadata, like what it is that you want, or no, not even given these metadata. Don't be constrained by the metadata, but like, what are curiosities like you have from your browsing data? Like, it's so fun thinking about because right after I installed the plugin, I was like, oh, I really want to know, for example, how influenced do I get by ads? Like, how influenced am I by certain posts and things to go buy something, or do I get into rabbit holes of either research or does Twitter lead me down? How much of rabbit holes is Twitter lead me down? So those are the kinds of things that I'm very curious about. But let me pause. Oh, the doorbell. I think that was actually I'm gonna catch up on some chat. The earlier, I think that was our hot water dispenser telling me that it's finished boiling water. There used to be spell check in Observable. Cool. Browser plugins are compatible in Firefox and Chrome now. Is it Hello Near This? So I feel like I'm still stuck from when I first started diving for the web, which I guess was 2011 and 2012. And I feel like back then, I don't know why, but I guess I got introduced to Chrome DevTools first. Either that or maybe Firefox DevTools wasn't as good, I guess. And then ever since then, I've just defaulted to Chrome DevTools. So I actually don't know how much better Firefox's DevTools are now. Ooh, all right. Bye-bye to Evan. Thank you so much for joining. Yes, hope to see you next time. I'm sure this chat was probably a while ago. So he's probably definitely gone by now. Oh yeah, I noticed that, Gilliam, because I noticed that Hamilton, who's the person that I'm working with at Mozilla, he's the one that wrote the plugin, and he has just one GitHub repo, and then that GitHub repo, there's different instructions for how to load it into Firefox versus Chrome, but the code itself is the same. So you're right. I didn't even notice that. I didn't even think about that. They removed XUL a long time ago, and interoperability was why, as I understand it. What's XUL? Ooh, wait. Oh yeah, that's like, whoa. Hold on. This is amazing because, oh, is this because you read one of my somewhere here? I'm like, I want to know. Yes. So there's a few things that I'm trying to figure out, which is some one of the things that we think would be really fun is like something part of your report being like, how basic is your browsing? Kind of like how Pudding has such a great one end of year one. Yes, how bad is your Spotify? I got called out so hard. I mean, the whole point of this one is to like get called out really hard. Highly recommend, super funny. Because I think most of my Spotify is like Taylor Swift and Ariana Grande, so I'm like super basic, but also I think they are wonderful. So in terms of their songs, but I do have some K-pop in there, so apparently I'm not like, I think they said that I was like 60% basic or 30, yeah, I think 60% basic, something like that, which I'm not mad. Yeah, so inspired by something like that, we were like, oh, wouldn't it be fun if we were like, how basic is your web browsing? And then so that's why the website ranking we thought was fun. The categorization, I think that one would be fun to be like, you know, how do you use the web? The trying to extract topics was like, the thought process was like, oh, it'd be interesting if we can extract topics from the title or description, and then run that through something like Google Trends to be like, oh, were you searching about this or reading about this, you know, like before it really took off, or like as it was taking off, or like, so basically like, how hipster are you? So we're trying to just use like very buzzy words in this kind of like the story that we might eventually put out. I hope I get to, because there's like, this is the phase 1 of the project where we're doing a lot of the data exploration, and I'm kind of helping them shape the data. And the second part is kind of like delivering something that's kind of like a product for their platform, or potentially even like a story for marketing purposes. So hopefully I get to help them with the phase 2, but that's why I keep talking about like potentially a story. This is so, ooh, I wonder, like, let me see if I can do something like relatively obscure. Internet and telecom. I'm not sure how much I'm trusting these categorizations. Hello, near this. Internet and telecom, health, pets, and animals. I'm not sure. Let me choose one of my other, let's see. Oh, let's do Twitch. Gambling, games, internet, and telecom. Kind of accurate. Yeah. I like the gambling part. Let's see. Ooh, welcome back in, Rick Nightcrawler. Oh yeah, so there is a Unrest DC police data project, in that I took a very, very, very simple first stab, and then I haven't had the chance to work on it since. So yeah, this is the one. I'll drop it in the chat. And I am happy to update that the voting problems one is so close. It's like, it's so close. Or at least I feel like it's almost there to be published. And so hopefully next week I'll do some of the final, like some of the like final things, and then hopefully it will get published very soon. Oh, Nalaj, yeah, the plugin is not yet public. I think because we're still working on kind of shaping the data, it's not yet public. Ooh, nerdy curious. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, I'm gonna start a section that's so I have week 3, a section on Twitch questions. Questions from Twitch. Ooh, or curiosities from Twitch. I'm gonna say nerdy curious. Hello, AVSJNK. I don't know. I've never heard of a rescue app, so I don't know about that. Ooh, Will says, my question is, how many of the dozens of tabs that I open do I actually end up reading? This I am so guilty of. And how many just sit there for weeks while I insist. That's why I actually asked for a referrer. Let's see. Oh, I lost my place in chat. This is why I asked for this. There's like a referrer metadata that's supposed to be like if you open like for this entry, this tab that you're in, where did you open that from? Like, was it like, did you get it on Twitter or Reddit or something? Did you open it and then never get to it? Like, is the elapsed time like on that tab very, very, very small? Because I am so guilty of this, and this is a reason why I wanted that. Because I'm like, there are plenty of articles that I'm like, this is very crucial and I should read it, and I never read it. That is such a good one, Will. Oh, let me know if you don't feel comfortable with me writing your handles into this too. So Gilliam, I don't think it's Shield. I don't know. I'll follow up next catch-up call I have with them. Ooh, Hello Near this says, Firefox caught up in DevTools, much nicer CSS interactions. I should really catch up on that. Oh man, I remember Firebug. Oh man, I remember Firebug. Yeah, Firebug was around back when I started doing web dev too, and I don't know why I didn't like it so much. Group site codes versus car mechanics. Wait, I didn't read. Thought it would be interesting to group sites like codes. Group site codes versus car mechanics versus artists versus gamers. Yeah, so another thing that's really interesting is that for the studies, they also ask the volunteers for demographic information, like not required, just if they want to volunteer that. And so I think that would also, once this project gets launched and then starts collecting data, I think that's also a really interesting dimension too, of like comparing demographic data to their like browsing interests. Ooh, when do you mass close out browser tabs? I think I let them sit there for like weeks. So these two are very interesting because because I think we were only thinking of doing like weekly reports, but it'd be interesting to do like a month look back or like a few months look back. That'd be really interesting. I don't know how we would define this users like you though. How to define users like you. I don't know. Like, I guess like it'd be like, yeah, it would be demographic data, I guess. But that's another thing that would be, I think, so fun is like once we get enough individuals data to then give them a part in their like weekly individuals report to be like, this is you, and like compared to everybody else's browsing data or something like that. That would be so interesting. Yeah, Nilaj. Twitch is a gambling site. Weirdly, I feel like it's weirdly kind of appropriate. I have no idea. Ooh, NDRHCN, hello. Ooh. Yeah, this is, I think this is very doable. We're getting very, very, like everybody's curious about their tab consumption. Hold on. I'm gonna like NDRHCN. How many times you switch to a tab before closing it? Ooh. Who knew this has a new one? 12 popular types of websites you can create. Ooh. I wonder if there's like, I like this. But then I wonder if there's like a place that does categorize these sort of things. Let me also make a note of that. So here is an interesting set of categories that we can potentially apply to websites. What, really? My own website is... Oh, you know, I guess that makes sense. So my portfolios, you're right, Gilliam. I guess that does make sense because my portfolio projects are like a lot of media and journalism projects. And then I do have that one project about the pandemic. So I guess the health is sort of accurate. Mr. Ducky says, I gamble all the time on Twitch. Wait, what do you mean, old dadu? Old dadu. Welcome in, old dadu. Oh. I would say kudos 3110. Welcome in. I'm not gonna delve too deeply into your question about working with graphs and how to get started. Although I do think that the Data Visualization Society is a good place to start. They have a lot of resources for people just getting started in data visualization, and so and also they have a pretty active Slack, so you can potentially ask your question there. If, you know, one day Twitch finally allows me a subs only stream, I'm going to have office hours, and then you can ask questions like that then. Thank you, Gilliam. I always forget that I have a book that I should recommend to people. I guess it's still such a new thing for me. It's not even out yet. So I guess that's why chat, you answer these questions better than I do. I don't know why I try to answer. Thank you. I'm going to stop answering. I love it. Hello, near this. Saw a pic today that compares my mind to a browser. 19 tabs open, 3 frozen. Have no idea where the music is coming from. I've heard of Tidyverse. I've just never tried it. Hello to Truthful Guy. Yeah, that's exactly like I have something like that in my head too, Will, of see a flow or tree diagram of how tabs get open from links in other tabs. That is exactly what I have envisioned in my head. Maybe the idea of those tabs that you open but never read are like the path not taken, and which tabs are dead ends versus the ones that spawn the most other tabs. Yeah, I have like a sketch that is like very similar to this idea. Oh yeah, ABSJNK. Ooh, awesome! I love front end masters. Wait, Gilliam says if you have timing. Okay, hold on. Let me get this closer to. Oh, oops. Okay, the arm just hit my monitor. Hold on. I'm like struggling because my glasses prescription isn't very up to date, and that monitor is like kind of further away. Okay. Let's see. If you have timing and loading completion steps in the data, perhaps you could assess whether the page was able to provide the answer the person browsing was looking for. That actually did not go where I was expecting it to go. I thought it meant like which websites load slower, I thought was where you were going to go, Gilliam. Because I'm not 100% sure how the timing and loading would lead to whether the page was able to provide the answer the person browsing was looking for. I wonder if that's like a matter of whether that tree, like the tree that Will was mentioning, whether that terminates. And then like if it terminates after like where the last leaf has a very long elapsed time, I wonder if that is a good indication of a page answering the question, the answer the person browsing was looking for. Yeah, I just feel like it'd be so fun if we can do something like one of those like Wikipedia rabbit holes, like you know, like when people do like Wikipedia dives. I really want to do that, but something similar with like your browsing data, like, or I mean, this can capture your Wikipedia dives too. Ooh, yeah. This is something that's also quite fun. Engineering change. Welcome in. Clustering users by time of day and when. I feel like I'm kind of cheating. Where you're doing my job for me right now. You don't. That's it's okay. That's not secretly what's going on. Ooh. Time when the site was visited. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we think is really fun. And that's why there's like this, that's why we were exploring this of like, when do you spend the most on what sites? So this is my client's data, and then you can see I think he's working a little too much right now because he's like on Google Docs every day of the week, and Twitter, and on Google Docs from 5 a.m. to 9 p.m. This is a sum. This is a sum of all the hours throughout, I think, maybe a week or two of browsing data. But yeah, like one of the things that we're super interested in is like time of day and day of week browsing patterns. And so yeah, exactly as you said, and engineering change of like, do you read articles at lunchtime? Do you doom scroll at night? And so one of the things that we need to do is to make sure that we grab their time zone so that we, are accurately mapping the times in which they're browsing. Ooh, no worries, old Dado. I'm sorry, old Dado. Just very appreciative that you are participating in the chat. So I might not have. Sometimes I don't answer everything just because if I'm like a little bit more confused or, but yeah. But yes, kind of the giving a little bit more context would be very helpful in chat. Wait. Trying to parse through what Gilliam is saying. Basically, if the main content was loaded and the tab was open, it's all good. But if the tab never got the focus, or if it was closed before the main content was displayed, then false. Hi, Katya. Welcome in. Wow. This is the first time this has happened to me on stream, where somebody changed their handle midstream. Rick Nightcrawler went from engineering, or Rick Nightcrawler went to engineer change. Full rebrand is complete. Yes, yeah. Totally agree with Gilliam, old Dado. Like, definitely it is just because I like switch back and forth from my work to chat. So sometimes like if without context, I kind of lose the chat a little bit sometimes. Or I lose, like I get confused by chat. The study? Web performance calendar. Wait, sorry, what is this, Gilliam? Trying to... Oh! Wait. Similar, where performance optimization... Wait, hold on. Is this a point of... Wait, hold on. Earlier, your point was... You said... Assess whether the page was able to provide the answer the person browsing was looking for. But this one seems to... Part of this article seems to be saying... when something loads too slowly, that somebody might abandon. So wait, I should stop skimming too much. Abandonment. How do we define abandonment? How should abandonment be measured? What problems are we trying to solve by enabling a better measurement API for it? How often are page loads abandoned on web today? I like this one a lot Yeah, this question I think is so interesting. How often are page loads abandoned on the web today? Because I feel like that's something that sometimes I'm guilty of when like something is going on for too long. I'm just like, all right, I didn't care that much for this article. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that, Kadia. Kadia is learning to program Python. Seeing this makes me so excited to keep going. Yes, so I do JavaScript, but I think the data part and kind of how to dig into data, I think is probably across languages, or is applicable across languages. Ah, Killiam says, it's called abandonment and is a way to guess if the page was able to provide the answer you were opening for. Interesting. Oh my god. Well, that is brilliant. Okay, I finally caught up on chat because I'm such a slow reader. I don't think I have control over this. Also, I think it's that the user doesn't upload the data because it just all happens in. Actually, I don't actually know how the data gets uploaded because presumably if you do it in Firefox, then there's probably a way to make it work such that there's like a sync between that plugin and Firefox. Or sorry, that plugin and Firefox, a sync between that plugin and Firefox and the platform itself. But on Chrome, I don't know. I guess you would have to upload your data weekly, which I think would be really annoying. No, wait. No. That can't be how it happens. I think it's that. I think they. No. That's not how that happens. Of course it's not. No. That would not make any sense. Because then how would. Wait. I actually am not fully clear on if the person volunteering has to do the upload or if the plugin just automatically sends the data over to the platform, the data platform. I don't know. But if either way, I love this idea. I am I actually don't know enough of Python yet to make it, or enough of Python to make it pretty either. I actually don't know what kind of visualizations Python outputs, Kadia. Yes, I agree with you, Will. Like somewhere in the project, I hope there is a dial-up noise too. Just for the nostalgia. What if there's like super, well, no, I guess everybody has to be 18 and over. But not everybody 18 and over. Do 18-year-olds remember dial-up? They might not. Not everybody's gonna get the reference. Well, yeah, I don't know. I'll follow up about the project and where it's published and then how the data gets uploaded. Like if you grew up, yeah. I feel like this is a late 90s, early 2000s thing. Okay, so actually that was amazing. I think I was in the middle of showing you, what was I trying to show you? And then for week 2 data, I was able to get some more metadata. So then OG type was really interesting. So this is like some websites provide this OG type tag. And I guess it's kind of funny seeing what some of these websites tag as. So like Twitch is website, YouTube is video, which makes sense. I feel like actually no, all of these make a lot of sense. Library thing, review. Actually, these are pretty good. GitHub is object, I love it. I like this one, Redfin real estate. I think there was like Twitter, I saw had like 3 different kinds. It was like article, website, and something else. That was, I think this is kind of helpful in categorization, but it's not every single entry that has it. I think only a little bit more than a third of the entries have an OG type. So that's why we were trying to find other ways to categorize. Let's see. And then the fun thing I started to do is and this is what I want to work on today, which is extracting the most common words from descriptions out of websites that I spent the most time, and to nobody's surprise ever, it's data and code. And then there's this is the voting problems notebook that I have that we've been working on for so much. Actually, I think all 4 of these are the voting problems observable notebook. When it wasn't the most time spent and just like the count, the ones with most count, there was goals somewhere on this list too. And so this week, what's been fun is then I extracted just the ones that were capitalized words. And so that was also interesting. So you can say like voting problems, election day. I don't know what this code start is. New York City. I don't know who Henry Holt is. There's a lot of these where like I'm not quite sure what they are. But yeah, so obviously as this like a bullet point isn't the most informational. So I did this. Ooh, you can tell that I was trying to like look for sweatpants. Shop Old Navy. So let me show you what I think is super interesting. So this is, wait, hold on. Let me give you, hold on, let me use my own data. So this is the websites that I visited in the past week, and then the most common capitalized words. So in observable, this is the voting problems one, election day, code start. Why is there code start? I have no idea. Voting problems. This one is super interesting because this is basically when Nadia and I were working together we over the weekend put together a book page on our data sketches website. So then it just has a sample chapter and then some endorsements, and then also a list of some of the bookstores. And so to try and compile this list, I was doing a bunch of Google searches for our book. And so that's why there's like Amazon, and I think that's why my name and Nadi's name appears a lot on the list up here. That's why I'm on there, Nadi is on there, Data Sketches is on there. And then I think I was looking at Jason's like streams, I think, and that's why he's on there. I think that's why New York City and Penguin Young Readers and Henry Holt is up there, because I think I was like searching for all of the bookshops that our book was on, and that's why like there's Waterstones, ibs.it, data sketches site itself. And so what this one is doing is I basically have the website itself, and then I have these bubbles are the capitalized words, and then the links are between each capitalized phrase, or like each phrase and the website it came from, as well as a link between each phrase and another phrase that were in the same sentence, or each word and another word in the same sentence. So that's why you can see there's a lot of Goodreads. Oh, this one is like when I was like watching a Trevor Noah show, and they were interviewing the authors of a book called Rising Out, and then I like went and looked at it on Goodreads. It's super fascinating. And I'm like, oh, like it's so fun to like be like, oh, this is because I was doing this over the weekend. And this one, this is my I need sweatpants cluster. There's Old Navy. Yeah, I think all of these are probably shop Old Navy. Warm cropped micro performance fleece funnel. Yeah, what is the savings one? Old Navy and savings.com, I guess. I wonder what. Oh, I was looking for a coupon. And then what is this one? Facing South. Oh, I think this is when I was researching for like a potential gerrymandering project. Google Docs. It says logo remixes, prizes categories. What is this? I don't know. Logo remixes. Apple. Ooh, I'm looking for a new Apple Watch, so that's what this is. More trying to look for sweatpants at Kohl's. Where's O'Reilly? Flocking often? Game developers. I was looking for an algorithm. Yeah. So I feel like even this is super fun. There's like one where I was looking at my clients' data, and there was like something that was like I had connected Twitter and YouTube, and it was like this very specific video, and I was like, oh, someone sent you that video via Twitter. Just very interesting things that you can see from this. Ooh, even more sweatpants shopping. Let's see. But the TikTok kids cannot participate in this study because the TikTok kids will most likely not be old enough. Yeah, I should really move my mic over there. Dial-up? I don't actually remember. So I just remember my dial-up experience being like early 2000s. Oh, engineer change. I did remove stop words, or I should have. Did you see any stop words? Oh, you mean in the capitalized ones? Yeah, you're right. I should stop. Yeah. I should remove stop words like the in. The top words one, I used like a tiny TF IDF, so that one should have removed. Yeah, this one should not have. Wait, somewhere here. Oh yeah, this one should not have any stop words. Engineer change, are you talking about this one that's so pretty? It's I feel like it's like so satisfying. I like changed around the force simulation a little bit, so it does things. Or force simulation, I changed around the settings a little bit, so then it does this thing where like it moves in such an interesting manner. Anyways, but this is not going to be the final visual. This is just like exploring the data. Ooh, thank you, NDRHCN. The Altair library. Is that kind of the switch between Python and Java? Oh, awesome. Oh, and it's built on top of Vega Lite. Yeah, I really like Vega Lite for data exploration. So this is all done in Vega Lite. Ooh, thank you so much for that advice, NDRHZN. Still don't know how to pronounce. So the details of how we're getting the data, I don't know, because that's my client is working on that. So I don't know how exactly he's recording the domain names. Code start might be because you often look up libraries and how to use them. Yes, so engineer change. That's what I'm gonna do today. I've been talking for an hour and a half and have not coded because like I just wanted to show. I think it's just so I didn't plan to show so much. And I was just gonna like get into the code, but then I was like, actually, I think it's such a fun project that I should share like exactly what's going on. But yes, so the very next thing is putting time into this. So we're gonna do that together today. Groupings clusters are by session and not necessarily by referring. Right now, right now this is purely. So for example, this is just the website, and so I group them all together across sessions and even across like pages on the same website. So I think as soon as I get started with like the temporal version, I think what I'm going to do is still group by the website, and then but then the website per hour, if that makes sense. So I should get started on this. Where is Hacker News? I don't go to Hacker News. I feel like when I first started coding, I went to Hacker News and I just found it like very much not for me. I didn't like the vibes. Let's see. Ooh, Pranav, hello, welcome back in. Yeah, this is my browsing data for a week or two. And you can see what I did primarily, which was put together our data sketches book page, and also look for and then look for sweatpants. That is a lot of what I did. Ooh, what is this? Why did I do this? Okay, so finally we got to the code. All right, so what I want to do is now take the network graph and stretch it across day and time. So I think what I'm gonna do is each row is a day of week. So I guess start with Sunday to Saturday, I guess. And then x-axis is time of day, and then keep the website and words node link graph. All right, so I don't even know how to go about this. Let's do this together. So right now I have this piece of code that is generating the node link graph for me. So this one, what should I do? Okay, so that generates that, but then I need it to be, okay, let's copy this over and then give it a try. So let's see, let's call it draw temporal network, and then nodes and links. And then what I'm gonna do, so old dado, so yes, we eventually want to also get like the source of the page of like, or the referrer of the page, which page did you access this page. So that node and link graph was not that. Yeah, so that one, the previous node and link graph is websites and their words and their descriptions. So but eventually there will also be like a which page refers which page, and that one I'm probably gonna use a tree or a flow diagram. Let's see. Okay, actually I don't know if I should have copy and pasted that over, because I think I should start from the beginning. Okay, let's comment this out. We can use this as reference. So this one basically, this code basically gives me the two arrays of nodes and links. But what I want to do is I want to go through each entry. Actually, no. I think this is still true. Go through each URL's proper nouns. Remember, it's elapsed time. Then link it to other proper nouns for that URL, as well as the URL itself. Okay, so actually, I think we can... So the main difference is that right now, instead of just remembering one node per website, I want to remember one node per website for a specific hour. So actually, I think we can reuse most of this. All right. Let's use my data. So draw temporal network, and then I'll use my data. And then I want to use, the website. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so then I also want probably the start time. So let's do a debugger here and make sure that I'm on the right track. I don't have start. So data, let me see what the data looks like. Okay, so in that 1 week, I visited 144 different websites. GitHub, okay. Ooh. Okay, so basically what the data looks like is I've grouped each of the entries into their website. And so that means that for each entry, okay, yeah, I think what I should do is for each entry, I should grab the start. Yeah, so for each of the entries, I have the start time. And for the start time, I should say const start hour. And I'm going to use d3 time to grab the hour. So that should be time hour. Yeah, okay, time hour dot floor. Yes. So d3.timehour.floor will give me back the it will give me back the day and hour. I don't know why I just said that. That was yes, that would make a lot of sense if that's okay. So time hour dot floor, and then where did I put my debugger? Oh, I already erased it. Okay, so then after that, so for save the URL. So actually, let me do this. For the key, I want to do the website. Let's say at that start hour. And then, so then I say, does that website exist? And that's the key. And then I'll say also website, and then I'll say start hour. And then once I get into specific, like these specific proper nouns, then for each of them, I want the key to be, do I want key? Do I want? Actually, I wonder if for the okay, so actually I feel like I should draw this out so you know what's in my head. So basically what I'm thinking is Alright, I am pulling out my iPad, and I sincerely hope that it will not make my mic freak out like last time. Let's see. Alright. perfect. Okay, and audio is still all okay, I'm hoping. Let's see. Yeah, okay. The audio looks good still. All right, so what I have in my head right now is something like that network graph, but then this is going to be helpful to just draw it out and kind of get my idea out of my brain. So we'll say like Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, etc. And then for each of those, let's say, okay, maybe it's, maybe this is noon, let's say. So then for each of what we currently have, the bubbles we currently have, so like let's say that, let's make it like this. And say this is like docs. And this is like Twitter. This is, let's say, like YouTube, Twitter, let's say Gmail. Let's say like there's the words. And so this is like docs at 11 a.m. And this is like, sure, like 1 p.m. And so these are like the websites that we visited. And then like these are the words in descriptions. Yeah, okay, so I think I'm starting to get an idea of what this should look like. So then the words themselves can be, across multiple days or times, like linked to multiple different days and times. Let's say. And I think that would also be interesting to see, like, where, like, when we're seeing these yeah, I think that would be quite interesting, like, to see when the words show up. So let's try this as the first run, and then if it looks too busy and hard to tell, then I'll consider maybe creating the words. I don't know, at least let's take a look at what this might look like. All right, so let's see how far we can get today. We're gonna, so the source is still the same. And then we're gonna do, ooh, so let's actually call this. All right, let me pull the curtains. I'm so happy that the sun is coming out though, because it was quite cold earlier. It's been quite cold these few days. All right, so, and then here, when I'm creating the link, oops, let key is equal to source website. I'm gonna call this link key. And then same thing down here. Actually, I feel like that should be all that we need. Why is that not working? Node not found. GitHub. There's a node not found. Let's see. All right, what is not being found? Okay. Oh, okay, type is words, ID is 0. What? Why is it ID is 0? Oh. Weird. Somewhere the splitting is not happening correctly. Okay, somewhere I messed up on. Alright, let's see what the website keys look like. And actually, let's see what the start hour look like. That looks pretty good to me. Ooh. Okay. That looks good to me. So then console.log nodes. Huh. Okay. Oh. Oh, oops. Okay, sorry. This is supposed to be proper nouns. This part. Node not found. Alright, so let's see what the nodes look like now. Okay, now the nodes look like what I expect. So then, why am I getting that bug? Node not found is T and N. Where did the... T dot get... Alright, let's see. Let's see what the nodes look like. Actually, oh. Okay, this is... Okay, it's because I didn't give the right key for the website, for the link. Okay. Right now that should work. Whoa. That's not necessarily what we want here. Ooh, there's so many of them. All right, this is it. This is the end product. No, okay. So now what I want to do is right now I have my force chart doing the simulation calculation too, but I think I'm gonna have a process network is equal to hello Gomavika, welcome in. Really, engineer change? I feel like it needs less white space. Compression has a hard time right now. Okay, so let's pass in nodes and links to this. So I want to just pull out the actual, so in a force chart, you know, I might actually just copy and paste this too. Okay, so I'm gonna, just because I don't want to have to deal with like trying to, okay, wait, hold on. I'm trying to like explain my thought process. So I feel like if I'm like making a final product, then I will have kind of made these, like made this function usable by both this, my current, what I'm currently trying to do, as well as this previous exploration. But honestly, I think because it's just an exploration, I think I'm just gonna like make a new chart with a new force simulation. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna copy and paste, because I'm not trying to write pretty code. Let's do that. And then let's call this force temporal chart. And what I'm going to try and do here is let's first comment out all of the parts that are like the SVG node and trying to draw the graph. And let's work on the force simulation for now. So what I want that thing to do is I want the force simulation to have them all like they have very specific positions that they want to get to, specific X and Y positions. So I'm going to calculate those X and Y positions first. So what I'm going to do is for the Y position, that is the day of the week. So actually, okay, so X scale, the X is the time of day, and then so let's get that d3.scale time of time of day of that website is visited. And we're gonna go up. Ooh, because we've been sitting for a while. All right. Okay, then let's see. Time of day website is visited. So for the domain, I'm gonna do d3.set. I've done this before, Gilliam, where I have my desk go up, and then now you can see more on my poster. Okay, so extent data, and from there I want the start hour, and then I want the output to be oh wait, hold on, it should be the just the hold on, it should just be the time of day, regardless of what day. So to do that, I don't care about which day, I only care about time of day. How should I do that? Time interval. So actually I shouldn't do, wait, it is start hour, but essentially it is, should I just start with midnight being 0? So instead of using scale time, there should be something with scale time that I'm like, yeah, this is what a standing desk looks like in action. I really like my standing desk. Okay, scale time. I swear, I feel like I should be able to do like a just time of day, like just the hour or just the. Okay. I'm gonna do a slight hack of using scale linear, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna do basically a let's do time minute, yeah, and then time minute between oh, I'm so silly. Okay, so for the X scale, the domain should be, I don't even need to look at the data, so the domain should be 0 to maybe just number of minutes in a day. How many number of minutes are in a day? 60 times 24 hours, 1440 minutes. 0 to 1440 minutes in a day. That makes sense, right? Yeah, 60 minutes times 24 hours. Yeah. And then that should be outputted to width minus Margin dot left. Do I not have margin in here? Oh, I don't have margin. Okay, I'll just define some margin right now. And then, oh wait, it's supposed to be margin dot left on the left, and then width minus margin dot right. And then the Y scale should be day of week. And so for this one, it should be, honestly, I feel like I should just use D3 time to get the, no, I don't even need to do that. I think with the date object. So I think I want to use a scale band because these are going to be discrete. And then with the scale band, I can just do 0 to 6, right? So the date object, JavaScript date object. What? 4? Oh, wait, do tell, Gilliam, what do you mean to use the dot replace to get the time regardless of the day? So just like strip out all of the the day information, or? So what I'm thinking about is using D3 time dot count, I think. Yeah, so what I can do here is if I do time minute and then pass in the that date. I feel like I'm doing but then if I just take out the month and day and year and are left with just, oh no, I can just extract the hour and extract the minutes and then multiply. Time confuses me. Yeah, I should just be able to do it that way. Yeah. Okay, Y scale is equal to D3 scale band. And then it should just be 0 to 7, I think. Because day of week, of the week, yeah, from 0 to 6. And then I want that to map to bottom is height minus margin dot bottom, and then margin dot top. Okay, then I'm gonna have you pass into force temporal chart. Yes. Okay. Okay, now we've set up the day of week. Okay, now let's position and dimension info. So now let's do object dot assign d tempora charts. Oh, hello, welcome in, have good. I actually stopped using Moment.js because it was so big. And oh yeah, like the Ooh, relative time. Like the library was so big. So I wonder. Wait, hold on. Read. Oh wait, no, docs. Parse. Get set. Yeah, I don't think I want to grab something just for like 2 things. Yeah, so I think Lodash range is oh wait, no. I think I should do 7, and then that would not include the 7, right? Lodash range. Oh, actually, Havgood, I am curious about how you would go about with Moment.js. How would you go about just calculating time of day? I do feel like for my use case, I can just extract the hour and the minutes and then just combine that. And I think that should take care of what I'm trying to do. So range is end, and then, yeah, up to but not including end. So I want to do range 7 so that it gives me array 0 through 6. And then, yeah, so then, let's see. Let's grab the R. And then for the X, what I want is X scale, and then take either, oh wait, hold on. If the d.type is equal to a website, then I want to pass it into the X scale. Otherwise, wait, focus X, no, fx. I want the X position to be fixed. Extract time of day from a date object. Yeah, and that date object could be any day. So I'm thinking of doing it as, maybe this is just a unsophisticated way to do it, but yeah, get hours. I'll get hours and then plus get minutes is what I was gonna do. So 60 times d dot start hour dot get hours plus d dot start hour dot get minutes, was it? Get minutes, yeah. And that I feel like should give me the right thing. Oh, round it to the, wait, round it to the minute. This should be rounded to the minute. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. I don't think I care about anything more detailed than that. Hello, welcome in, Laconic Spirit. Yeah, there's probably a typo on my website. I am redoing it, so hopefully I don't have it anymore. What is the typo? I am not surprised that I have a typo. That's why I'm laughing. Focus Y. And then, yeah, so if the node is a website, then pass in the Y scale where this is the day of week. So is it get day? Is that it? Yeah, okay, get day. Or just null. Yeah, it should. Oh man, I've gotten that one before too. And yes, you are absolutely right. I need to make a note of that. So, okay. So now I think I should have, for all of the ones that are words, oh wait, okay, don't do this just yet. Then for the nodes, I should just have, for the ones that are words, I have no X and no Y. And for those that are Where are my... Oh, there we go. Okay, so for these, I should have a X and a Y. Perfect. Yes. Okay. Then I should be able to do, let's see, collide, charge. Okay, let's not have charge for now. Let's have center be there. The links remain the same. And the only difference now is I'm gonna add something called Y. And this is saying that I want all of my nodes to go towards the Y position, get as close as I can to the Y position I have specified. And I have specified it as focus Y. And now I should have, what is this? All right, I feel like we're getting close. Ooh. Now that format, ooh. Interesting. Have good says now dot format and then the hours and then minutes or parse int of that. But if I do a parse int, would that give me back the milliseconds? I'm guessing that would give me back, yeah, I'm guessing that would give me back a milliseconds. Ooh, hello, Saber True, welcome in. And yeah, Gilliam has a great answer. I co-wrote a whole book. And yeah, the website, the Data Sketches website also has a bunch of write-ups about the process of dataviz. Now is equal to moment. Okay, I feel very close. Also not sure where this, oh, I see. Okay. So now every one of these should have a X and Y. They do not, oh yeah. They now have an X and Y position. And even the website nodes also have an X and Y position. So if I just uncomment this, then theoretically, I think it should be showing what we want it to. Whoa. I think this is closer to what we want. Wait. Oh, wait. Okay. Of course. So what I actually want. So the reason why all of these websites are stacked on top of each other is because I passed in the hour, the start hour, but actually what I want is just the start time. So let's just say the start time, d.start. And so now I think I should be able to do here d.time, replace all of these with time, and then, oh man, so whatever this time is, I do a lot of browsing, but like a lot of tiny little browsing, it seems like. And then down here, ooh, I think these might be my Twitch streams. Look at how big those are. And then whatever that is, apparently I do a lot. I like how like it's quite clear when I eat my dinners and then come back to work. Better, wow. So actually, let me change this label to be something, you know, less crazy looking. So I'm gonna use D3 time format. And then in, I think, down text. So here, instead of, so I think here I can say d.website at, let's use d23.time format. Hour. So hour, yeah, %I, and then AM or PM? AM, PM. Where's AM, PM? Oh, there we go, %P. Okay, %I and %P. So here I'll do %I and then %P. And then pass in the time. So that should clean up the labels significantly. That looks better. Ooh. Yeah, so I like this. Google Docs at 1 p.m., 2 p.m. I'm gonna make this taller actually. Ooh. Wait, why are you not spreading out more? Why aren't you spreading out more? So I have scale band. Oh, I don't think I set up scale band correctly. That would be why. Okay, so scale band, domain range. Did I? Okay, the best way to tell is to add a set of lines for each day. So let's go, and I have links, I have notes. So behind that, let's add in a line for each day of week. And so that would be lines is equal to svg.append a group, and then let's say, yeah, let's tell all of them to, sure, have that stroke, yes, sure. And then, so the reason why formatting is not the same between this code and mine is because I copy and pasted this code from another observable notebook. So select all the lines, and then for the data, let's do a range of 0 through 6, join lines, and then for the attributes, what I want is x1 and x2. So x1 will always be margin.left, and then x2 will always be the right hand side, so that's width minus margin.right. Then y, y1 and y2 are going to be the same, and that's going to be y scale, pass in the data, and the same thing for y2. Then hopefully that will give us a better, well, okay, wait, oh, it's because I pass in two y1s, y2. Ooh, okay, so it looks kinda, okay, hold on. I really don't think I'm using scale band correctly. Oh. So actually what I want to do is get the bandwidth and then have the y be the y position plus y scale dot bandwidth divided by 2, so that it's at the vertical center. And then Still, you do not look correct. The X scale really does look correct. Let me take out the centering. Maybe that's what's messing with it. That is not what's messing with it. I think my Y is not... I don't think the Y is... Fascinating. Okay, I don't... It doesn't look like the Y, the force simulation is respecting my like Y position. Yeah, I do browse a lot at 11 to 12. That's around when I start my day. Like somewhere, well, no, I don't start my day around 11 or 12. That's when I start getting actually functional. Start my day somewhere around 9 or 10. Oh, Ether Mations, thank you so much. Welcome in. It'd be even cooler if I can figure out what's happening with my Y position. I probably also should disable this drag, or I should disable the drag on the websites. So only drag, I'm only allowed to drag on let's see, the non website nodes. This is purely me procrastinating from trying to figure out what's wrong with the Y positions. Oh wait. Here I can just say dot call. Yeah, here I can say dot call drag simulation. Okay, so let's figure out what's going on. Well, technically speaking, I suppose I should add this whole bandwidth thing into my node Y position calculation. I'm saying focus Y. I'm saying force Y is d dot focus Y. I'm saying fix the X position. Why aren't you being placed in the correct position? And let's actually also see let's console log all the nodes and then see what the calculated Y is and what the actual Y position, the force layout, is calculating. So let's go down to the website nodes and then see. So I'm calculating 477 for the Y, but for some reason, all right, for now, let's do FX. I'm gonna fix both the X and Y positions, and then what will happen? Ooh, oh hey, I think this is like Saturday. Okay, so my X and Y calculations are correct, and I think it might be, okay, I think I know what's going on, which is that the reason why, this is cool, actually. So I think what I need to do, okay, hold on. Let me actually first verbalize what I think is messing up the force layout, which is that because there are so many nodes without, like there are so many nodes, the force simulation is actually having a hard time having these website nodes, the white ones, actually go towards the Y position that they should be at, because all of these other gray nodes are getting in the way. And so I think what needs to happen is that I need to run the force simulation to calculate the X and Y positions in two steps. The first step to calculate where each of the websites should go, and then fix those positions, and then calculate where each of these gray nodes should go. So that hurts my brain a little bit. Oh, that hurts my brain a little bit. Okay, well, we can still do that. Yeah. All right. So, ooh, Saber True. Unfortunately, I don't really do any dashboard design. So I might not have. I do date like I don't do any dashboard design. So my stuff might not be as relevant. Wondering what. Yeah. Wonder who'd be good. I feel like, yeah, I don't have any good dashboard resources just because it's not something I've ever really looked into. Yeah, Xiao Pao Waste, hello, welcome in. I envy you, I can't stand coding for hours. It really has to be code that I find interesting. So if I find the code not that fun, then I can't stand coding for hours either. Okay, let's do these two parts and then maybe we should call it a day. Let's see. Let's do okay. We got this. All right, we got this. So let's call this focus Y. Actually, I don't think it's gonna be too bad. Okay, let's dot stop. And then for this first one, I want to do simulation dot nodes, and then I'm gonna filter it out to just the websites, and then I'm gonna have it tick maybe, let's have it tick 1,000 times maybe, and then on each tick let's have, yeah, okay, on each of those let's tick 1,000 times, and then that okay, so I don't want the link on it just yet. Oh, actually, no. What's gonna happen is that, no, I don't want the links just yet. So, okay, that did not work. Why didn't you work? So it should be that none of these words have X and Y positions, but then each of these should have X and Y positions. Okay, now these do have X and Y positions. Cool, but for some reason they're not being drawn. Okay, that's fine. Why aren't you being drawn? X, Y. Let's see why that's not being drawn. You clearly have X and Y positions on you. You have it, so why aren't you drawing it? Node, graph. Wait. Okay, hold on. All right. Oh, okay. I know why. It's because if I manually call the tick, it doesn't, this tick function doesn't actually get called. So what I need to do is I need to just get rid of this tick function altogether. And then in the link, yeah, so do this. And then, so on each of the ticks, all right, so, okay. So this one is run first time around with only website nodes, then go through them all. Wait, okay. So here it should be, ooh. Ooh, okay. You have too much spacing between. Ah, look at that. Okay, now, ooh. Oh, actually, I like this. So I think this is Monday, and then it's all of my, like looking up food. It's like just one cookbook, good eggs. Gmail, good eggs, just one cookbook, imperfect foods. So eventually I feel like I should make it such that, you know, we start from here or something like that, because we don't really need like all of this, and that way this will have much more room. Yeah, so I think that Nadi has a little bit more experience with dashboards, but she also tries not to take any dashboard work on anymore, so I don't know if she would have any on her website. Okay, so now that we have that, what we want to do is, actually, we also want to I like how concentrated this is. Okay, so let me see. Okay, now fix the website's X and Y positions. So go through each of the nodes. Actually, I'm gonna do website nodes. And then also the word nodes. And then just use difference between nodes and website nodes. And so go through each of the website nodes. And then basically do FY is the new Y position, so the fixed Y position. And then let's say focus Y. Actually, then go in and run for simulation again for all nodes. And so that would be simulation dot nodes. And then I'm gonna now put in the links. And then I'm gonna also disable this force Y. So I think all I need to do is this. And then I'm gonna say reset the alpha to 1 and restart the force simulation, and then tick 1,000 times again. So, but now this time, let's make sure that none of our nodes go outside the boundaries. And hopefully this would make everything work. Please. So now I have X and Y for all of them. Hopefully this would look good. Ooh. 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 I'm not sure why the I'm not sure why the website nodes changed positions. This is closer to what we want. I'm not sure why. Let's see. Actually, what I'm realizing from this is that I don't think the words are as important anymore. Hold on, let me think this through. Well, first let me figure out why the websites are still being nudged. Let's also delete the focus Y, just in case. So from here, let's delete focus Y. That looks right. Huh. It almost looks like let me try something else. Very interesting. Yeah, I don't think I'm a fan of this. Alright, so what this is teaching me is that at this point, the words are less interesting. Like, I don't think these gray word bubbles are adding anything by being there. What's much more interesting is seeing the seeing what I was browsing when. And then if I had, I think what might be more interesting, instead of trying to represent these like words like this, I think this is what's actually interesting. Like whatever these are. Where are these? Oh, because for example, what happened was, I think in this view, what's actually really interesting is like when we revisit something. So like, for example, here and here, I was looking at pens. And so I started my like pen search here, and then I ended my pen search here. And then I bought my pens here, I think. And then here, it seems like there's some sort of a connection between like this set of browsing and then somewhere over here. So what actually is much more interesting than like showing each word as a node is kind of just drawing the links between the ones that are the same sessions. Or have very similar drawing. I think it's actually maybe showing, like maybe drawing a circle around them and like denoting them as clusters and then linking the ones that are related. I think that's what's much more interesting. Mouse over work for the display. Mouse over work for the display. Oh, you mean like showing more information? I think definitely, yeah. But I think even the fact that it seems like there's some sort of something that's like something like this whole set of things have like such a strong link to something over here. I think that's what's interesting. Like, yeah, looking at what gets like what gets connected. And this is actually only my browsing data that have descriptions, which is about a little bit less than half. And so this actually might look more interesting decoupled from I think this might look interesting just bringing all of my browsing data back in, and then perhaps trying to like cluster the ones that look related and then linking them together. It really is a very interesting like well, actually, to cluster similar ones, I probably still need descriptions. So this is a very inaccurate display of my browsing, but I don't know. I think there's something very interesting if we do like a clustering by browsing sessions or browsing ideas and linking them. I think that's what I'm gonna write as a note. Yeah, so I think that's my biggest observation. Ooh, hello, welcome in, Lila HK. It is sort of unsorted in that it's, it is clustered around the time, but it is unsorted within that. There are some also apparently 10 a.m.s in here. Yeah. Definitely needs a lot of cleaning, but also I think it is quite interesting. Session trends is observation, definitely. Mouse over circle to show text. Oh yeah. I think right now this is like way too. I always feel so. What's the word, like? I guess I always feel so conflicted about showing text, because I think on one hand it's so messy, but on the other hand I feel like it shows really interesting information, right? Like this is kind of really interesting in that, like, if I don't show any of the text, only show a subset of the text, I feel like I really lose a lot of what's so interesting about it. Oh, like for example, I think right here, I must have been so like all over the place because it looks like I was both writing some sort of an email about my past projects. Yeah, I must have been writing some sort of email, but also looking on Target and Amazon and Madewell at the same time about like sweatpants. So like these are, and also I come back here and I look for sweatpants. And these are things that we wouldn't be able to get if all of the texts are hidden. What would be interesting is being able to layer on text by cluster. That would be super interesting. Layer on text by cluster rather than showing them all at once. Like being able to toggle each layer of text, that would be super interesting. So like maybe start out by the cluster, the biggest cluster, and then like showing all the text for that. And then like maybe that would be super interesting. Okay. It would just wait, hold on. Abandonment would just point out outliers and perhaps way too much work for the possible rewards. I don't know. I mean we can still consider it, and it may or may not be something we actually do. But oh gosh, we have gone for almost 3 hours. Thank you so much, everyone, for sticking around. Thank you, especially if you're in Europe and you stuck around this whole time, because I think it is like past one for you. But I am very happy with what we did together. I think that is the biggest one I wanted to do. There was another one I was very curious about, which is looking at, wait, let me look at my notes. Oh gosh, where are my notes? So I wanted to see, oh yeah, so time of day in which you browse. I haven't looked into the rankings yet. What I wanted to do, okay, so there are 2 more things I really want to do, which is using Hamilton's data, where I see which websites we overlap between the 2 of us. I think that would be really interesting. And then for his data, he has this refer metadata. And so using that, I want to look into what we previously were talking about like kind of this tree of like, or threads of, you start at a very specific website and then you follow, and then like kind of follow the tabs that you've opened or the links that you've opened from that site. So that was another thing I wanted to do. And I'll I think I'll try that next week, next Friday, unless plans change. So next Wednesday, I will not be streaming on this channel because I will be streaming, or I'll be a guest on my friend Alice's Adobe live stream called Doodle Therapy. So this is, so friendly reminder that I will not be here, but please check us out instead on Adobe Live, 3 p.m. PST next Wednesday, and next Thursday. And then on Friday, hopefully I'll have the energy to come back and keep working on this client project, because I think it's super fun. I'm so glad that we got to do this today. I had a lot of fun. Let me catch up on the last of our chat, and then I'm gonna wrap up. So, oh, thank you so much, Hello Near This. I'm so glad I got to share kind of the design process. How about grouping the words by theme and showing a select for those, perhaps highlighting themes that are one-off versus recurrent. Like a select drop-down, grouping the words by theme. Well, so here's the thing, right? Like this needs to, so it's not a static data set. Like it's dynamic and different for every single person. So I can't manually go around grouping the words. And so we will have to figure out some sort of way to group by theme. I mean, I'm gonna write this down too. But actually, if you know of a good library that like groups words together, I think even just like grouping by part of speech, even that, maybe that's interesting. Oh no. The markdown tried to give me a select drop down. Themes are one-off versus recurrent. Yeah, that would be super interesting if we can pull off the grouping the words part by theme. I wouldn't know off the top of my head any libraries that would be able to help me for that. Word cloud. No. I don't know why. I don't think I have like a reason. I just really dislike word clouds. I think maybe I just really dislike how word clouds look. Yeah, aesthetically, I hate word clouds. Okay. But yeah, this was a super fun stream. Thank you so much for joining. Let me do a recap. I'm surprised that you haven't asked for this today. Hold on, hear this. And the recap is that we went through this client project and I kind of showed all of my progress so far. And then I worked on putting the websites and the corresponding words from their descriptions onto this very rough prototype force layout where the y-axis, each of these bars represent a day of week, and then the x-axis represent the time of day. So even here, it's super interesting, the browsing data. Okay. Thank you so much for joining. I hope you all have a great weekend, and I will see you all next Wednesday on Doodle Therapy and next Friday back on this channel. Thank you so much. Bye bye.